Well, to discuss more on this committee and its task ahead and other legal matters is a constitutional lawyer, Kennedy Osunwa. Good to have you here on TVC News Hour.
Yes, good evening.
Now, let's look at the section of the Constitution where this committee is being drawn up. Section 121, subsection 3 says all monies accruing to the judiciary in the state should be paid directly to the head of court for onward disbursement, which is part of why this committee was formed in the first place. So, but how much impact do you think this move will have in terms of strengthening our democratic institutions?
Yes, I want to let you know that this provision is a clear provision of 1999 Constitution as amended, which has been there.
Right.
But the issue is before now, before the assent of the president, has this provision of the Constitution, has it always been obeyed?
Enforced, right.
By the executive governors of the state? The answer is no. Because before, what I can say is a plus to this government came on board 2 days ago, and by this committee, what operates in the past is whatever that happened, the appropriation or whatever that goes from the consolidated revenue account of the state, you know, passes through the governor to the judiciary.
Right.
But now, this clear provision is to take effect as it has been. Because right now, any appropriation that is for the judiciary will not pass through the governor again. And of course, this alone will help to create the enabling environment for the independence of the judiciary. Because one of the ways by which the state executives control the judiciary, particularly in the state where their funds, where they derive their funds, is by appropriating their appropriation.
Right.
Okay? But now, right from the federal, it goes to the judiciary. So it is a right step in the right direction. And it will ensure, like I said, the independence of the judiciary.
All right.
Good. Now, let's take, for example, what happened in Kano State, where there were videos of the state governor purportedly or allegedly collecting bribe. And then the state judiciary wanted to investigate it. And they had to go to court to stop that process. When there is an autonomy within the state judiciary, will it grant the judiciary their powers to investigate instances like that?
Of course, you see, let me make haste to state that the governor in question is a sitting governor. And by the incursion of the Constitution, he is immune from prosecution.
So any investigations?
From prosecution, not investigation.
Investigations, right.
You must get the two clear, and you must get the difference. But however, where the judiciary is separated from the executive, right in the state, the judiciary becomes independent on its own, can take its decision, can, deliver its judgments that has to do with the courts as appropriate, and without the executive governor of any of the states feeling slighted or feeling that his interest has not been protected. So it is really a right step in the right direction, I should state. and it will go a long way.
In as much as the judiciary has been strengthened by this new law, which you said hasn't been enforced, right now the presidency has taken it seriously and implemented a committee to follow up that this really takes effect. What is the guarantee now that onwards we'll be having judiciary being muzzled up to favor some state governors, like you rightly pointed out, that is perhaps to take off the clause of state governors on judiciary pronouncements? What is the guarantee, for instance, now that when we have cases that are against some governments, that the state judiciary would live up to expectation and not being muzzled or not being influenced, as it were?
Let me make haste to state here that most of our judges, they are very, very, very thorough, and they are very, very bold in some of their decisions and in some of their judgments. But having said that, this step will also motivate and energize the judges and the judiciary as a whole, because financially they have their autonomy. But having said that, this government and the federal might still had to do more. Because, why did I say so? When you look at the appointments of the judges and most of the appointments in the judiciary, it is still anchored on the executive.
Right.
Okay? For instance, when the NJC recommends, it is the executive that will appoint. And if the NJC recommends a candidate that is not a preferred candidate of the executive, there will be a problem. So the independence of the judiciary must also extend to the appointment again, and to also to disbursement.
Right.
For instance, if you look at the provisions of Section 80, sub 3, it says that no money shall be withdrawn from the consolidated revenue account without being in line with the prescription or the Act of National Assembly.
All right.
The problem is where there is no prescription by the National Assembly, what happens? So, which means there is a dealing.
All right.
So these issues must be looked at holistically in order to ensure
There are no loopholes.
the independence of the judiciary is all-encompassing.
All right.
All right, Kennedy Osunwa, a constitutional lawyer, well, thank you very much indeed for coming to share your thoughts with us on this issue.
Thank you.